Hi everyone, hope you're doing well from wherever you're watching this channel, depending on your time zone. Now, Barrack Muluka has been a strong supporter of William Ruto, and they have been part of the team that was building UDA party. They have been moving from one TV station to another, making analysis in defense and support of Ruto. That was during the campaign, the making of UDA and the making of Kenya Kwanza coalition. Remember, he moved from ANC party, where he was the Secretary General, to UDA. Then he has been there. And all of a sudden, from nowhere, even after writing letters demanding Nairobi Senator Edwin Sifuna to apologize and tone down on his attack on government, the same person was on KTN News, on KTN TV. And this time round, he was not speaking the same way he used to speak about Ruto's administration. This time, he called a spade a spade. This time, he put it in black and white. Barrack Muluka is regretting supporting William Ruto. He has described Ruto's administration using very heavy words. He's referring to it as a bandit government, rogue regime, gangster regime. He goes further to refer to it as a kakistocracy. And that is a description he's giving to Ruto's administration simply because they have wasted resources, they have, betrayed Kenyans, and above all, Kenyans have been milked dry. But we don't see value for our money. Instead, we see money being splashed here and there. Very expensive watch. You talk about people buying umbrellas worth 3 million. And so many other things, including fake fertilizer. We are buying soil in the name of fertilizer. So, Barrack Muluka has turned against William Ruto, and this is the message he has as far as the Kenya Kwanza administration is concerned. According to Muluka, this is the best description for Ruto's administration. Listen to him shortly.
Beings who are going to have conversations with serpents and do terrible things. So what is the context here? It is a rogue regime, and it should be called what it is. Someone talked some years back about a bandit economy, but we can talk today about a gangster regime. And when you have a gangster regime, it doesn't matter that people may put on three-piece suits, live in ornate and plush environments in suburbia, Nairobi and in other places, or drive instead of the art cars, or put on watches that are worth 10 million shillings. Nobody spends 10 million earned shillings on a watch. Nobody. It must be stolen resources. Nobody splurges the kinds of resources that you have seen in the papers today on a seat, on a chair, for their office. So we are talking about a rogue regime, a kakistocracy. If we should speak like scholars, a kakistocracy, government by the worst elements of society possible. Their focus is not on the welfare of the country or on the welfare of the people. They are on a splurge ego trip mission, thinking that they are leading the good life, what I have called the 10-star good life. But it is a rat race to nowhere. The clergy are saying here that you are pauperizing the country. What needs to be done is to give context to this whole thing so that we understand why it is that when somebody is selling stones to farmers out there and donkey waste blended with those stones and calling it fertilizers, and they are not arrested, I haven't heard of anybody being brought to book. It is because the entire thing is an organic system that is just functioning the way it should be. So that is where we are, and we must ask ourselves whether it's going to be possible to get out of that space or not. You see, a gangster is a gangster. Many times when we talk about gangsters, we think about some bandits in some forest somewhere, in rags, in torn attire, in rough linen. We don't think about people who look like what Amos Tutola would call complete gentlemen, who are in three-piece suits with extra pieces in their pockets, and who furnish lavish living and lifestyles. But those are bandits, they are gangsters. And so we are talking about a gangster government, a gangster regime, and that's why we are where we are. And we must call it what it is by its name. And as I have said, those of us, in whatever way and to whatever extent, that may have contributed to the bringing of this bandit regime into power or this country, an apology.
Now, we are continuing this panel discussion by just a quick request. For those who are watching and you have not yet subscribed, please consider subscribing. To our returning subscribers, I must say thank you so much. And again, to all our viewers, please give this video a thumbs up. Thank you so much, and back to this discussion. Now, definitely, in many ways, many can agree with the Barrack Muluka's statement. In fact, Baraka has gone further on his knees to say that those who supported, including him, that even who may have contributed to bringing this bandit regime into power, owes Kenyans an apology. So he is literally saying that he owes Kenyans an apology, and he is apologizing for doing so. But the problem is that Barrack Muluka messed this country when he got to the TV and convinced men that Ruto is the right president. He defended him and he demonized Azimio la Umoja. That was a disservice to this country. Yes, he's apologizing, but it is too late to apologize because they are already in power. Most of the things he's talking about, banditry government, rogue regime, gangster regime, they have robbed us dry. We remain with nothing completely. We are robbed and we feel robbed. Why? Because we cannot see the value for our money anywhere, despite the fact that we have been overtaxed. The only place we can see our money is on some of these leaders' hands in the name of those watches they are using. Very expensive watch on their hands. Look at the kind and the type of sunglass they are putting on. Sunglass worth 80,000 shillings. That's why Barrack Muluka is saying that nobody spends 10 million Kenyan shillings and money on watch. It must be stolen resource. Hakuna mtu, hao ministers wako na mshahara ni milioni moja. Hakuna vile utakusanya mshahara milioni 10. You worked for 1 year just to buy a watch. That can never happen. I agree with him. Not unless this is stolen resources. or unless if you are a serious businessman and no one want to make a loss. But we see them, including William Ruto, Akina Kipchumba Murkomen and the rest. Today we are being told that they don't buy any Kenyan brand. These are international brands they are using. They are importing everything they put on. That's why he is describing them in this way. But above all, we are still on Barrack Muluka. There are about 2 to 3 comments that I read, and I felt that really these 3 comments have simplified this discussion to understand who Barrack Muluka is and why he's talking so. Because the question is, why has he changed? These are some of the views from the people who listen to this discussion. Collins Owako. He is a gangster himself. One of the reasons we are where we are today. His brother, Professor Kisiangani, is still deep inside him. Inside him, he is lamenting to be given a gangster share, after which he will sink and enjoy. There is nothing new he is telling us that we don't know. These are gangster statements. I really love that comment. For Barrack Muluka to come and tell us what he's talking about on TV, it is not news. We have discussed here. People are talking about this. Every Kenyan knows this. This is the kind of government we are having. Personal interest comes first and last. Our interest is nowhere. Hata ukijaribu kusearch hivi, it is opaque. We can't see. But we can see their personal interest being taken care of. Now, someone gave a kind of a story to describe what Barrack Muluka is going through. Akeyo Gideon. Ukienda mazishi, uingie tent ya catering, uambiwe ukae ungoje. Halafu 1 hour later, unasikia ni kama masufuria zinapangwa, food imeisha na bado unangoja. When it happened to you, utajua kitu Barrack Muluka ana feel. I agree with him. Barrack was anticipating for some good appointment somewhere. Baraka is well schooled, he's a learned person, one of the best brain we are having, but focusing on wrong things. So Baraka thought that he will be somewhere, just like Miguna. These 2 people, actually, yenye ungefikiria ingefanya kazi vizuri, lakini waliangusha Wakenya pakubwa. Hata kama unachukia Raila na ile timu alikuwa nayo, at least these people walikuwa tofauti na hawa tulio nao. But this is what we are going through. So it's like you are waiting for something, and now it's like you are discovering sufuria zinaosha, chakula imeisha. There is nothing you can continue to hope about. Because of that, you can now come and run the way Barrack Muluka is doing. That's what it means. Lastly, this comment also. Pepela Peter. Seems like the funding has been interrupted. These are the comments from Kenyans. I don't know your views, but let us meet in the comment section to continue with this discussion. Thank you so much, and see you in our next video.